Hey everyone, it's Tammy Tiller-Hewitt. It is hot and it is August, and I have my t-shirt on that says the sky is the limit. Oh, not the limit, it's the beginning. And so today I want to talk to you about what August is all about. August is the What Will Your Legacy Be month. And so I love this topic because one of my lifetime goals is to lead millions of people to understand their purpose and their dreams. And that all is packaged around legacy. What legacy are you going to leave behind? Because honestly, if you're living your dream and your purpose, you are leaving a legacy everywhere you go. And that's what oftentimes people think, that legacy is some big thing that you leave one time, then you're gone. Well, we've all left legacies behind, whether it was in school, whether it was on a team, in a classroom, at church, in a neighborhood, you name it. When you leave a legacy behind. The thing about legacy is we have three choices: to either leave a good one, a bad one, or we don't leave one at all. How tragic are the last two? Because we get to determine that. No one else does. So I want to talk to you about an awesome legacy story that I hope will inspire you this month. Imagine being a child abandoned on the streets of New York City. A child. And your immigrant parents died on their way over on the boat to America. And there you are, stranded with no money, no relatives, and you don't even speak the language. How scary is that? And that happened to 30,000 kids. That's where they found themselves in the year 1850. They slept in alleys, they hid in boxes to keep warm. To survive, the boys mostly stole, or they ate rats or dug in the garbage. And girls, they hired themselves out to prostitutes. So while the prostitutes kept their customers busy, the girls would slide their hand through these fences and pickpocket these men. And that's how they would survive. Well, as immigrants were flooding into New York City, no one had the time or the money to help any of these immigrants or these orphans, except one person, one 26-year-old pastor. A 26-year-old. He was horrified by their plight. So he organized a unique solution called the orphan train. Kind of take that in for a minute. The idea was simple. He would put hundreds of kids onto these trains, and then he would send them west. And then he would announce to these towns that these kids were coming in so that parents could plan to adopt a new son or daughter. So by the time the orphan train the last orphan train steamed out in 1929, 100,000 kids were adopted to families. Is that awesome? 2 became governors. 1 became a U.S. congressman. Another, a U.S. Supreme Court judge. Imagine as a child trying to fight off starvation and just survive. But one day someone puts you onto the smoke-belching train jammed with hundreds of other foreign-speaking kids and sends you west. And then one day you are selected by this middle-aged couple in Michigan who introduced themselves as Mr. and Mrs. Henry Ford. Does that name sound familiar to you? You're driven in a real automobile to the biggest house you've ever seen, and they explain to you that you're now part of their family and their home, the biggest home you've ever seen in your life. Can you imagine? And all this happened by a 26-year-old man. Now, listen, I've heard it once, I've heard it a million times. Yeah, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the innovative idea. We've got to step out, because when we leave this planet, we want to leave behind a legacy like that, and all of us can. So this August, I want you to be intentional. I want you to slow down just for a few minutes and really think about, what can I do where I am today in terms of leaving a legacy? Pick number 1. Pick a good legacy. All right? Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next Friday from the Field.